Hello everyone, I'm hoping I'm live. It appears I just got a warning on my phone that there's a poor internet connection, which just figures. I can't believe it. Why now? So I'm just going to take a minute because there's nobody here with me yet to double check and see if it's working. Okay, I think I'm on, but if anybody has any issues, please let me know. I think I'm on, but if anybody has... Okay, I just wanted to see if I was on. I think I'm here, so hopefully this will go forward. Okay, so this is a flash class. Hi, Christina. You're like my #1 fan. I love seeing you on here. So this is a flash class. And I was inspired to jump on and do this class this morning because I'm just so excited about what I've been doing the last couple of hours. So yesterday I had my Live at 5 and we created a series of cards using some designer series paper from a 6x6 stack. And let me grab those in case you're new. So these are the cards that we made yesterday during my Live at 5. You can catch the video right here on my Facebook page. And we're basically highlighting how to use a little square of designer series paper by cutting a 6x6 square into 4 smaller squares. You could get 4 cards from one 6x6 piece of designer series paper. And I'm going to hope that if you guys can tell me if the screen is bright enough, I would appreciate it, because looking down into my device, it looks kind of dark. But I think on my computer, it looks like it's bright enough. So these were the cards that we did yesterday. And I happened to mention yesterday during my class that I've been following Kylie Bertucci. She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And she has started a movement that is absolutely amazing. It's the Love It, Chop It movement. So if you do a search with the hashtag Love It, Chop It, it's basically about stop hoarding your designer series paper because you're afraid to cut it or because it's too pretty to cut, and start using it. So if you have been tuning in to me recently, you will know that I am a hoarder. I have more designer series paper than probably Stampin' Up! Has in the warehouse. It's pretty bad. And I collect it and I love it and it's gorgeous, like this pack of paper. And I love to just look at it and know that it's on my shelf, but I've been so afraid to cut it up. So I was following some posts on our demonstrator Facebook group. We have our own private Facebook group. And there's been a lot of posts recently about designer series paper and using it up before it retires, because as demonstrators, once it's retired, it doesn't really do you very much good. Everyone's afraid to use it in projects, etc., etc. So I'm sitting on all of this designer series paper from years past, and this year included, and it's time for me to chop it. Well, Tracy, I love this paper too, and I have barely used it. And today I cut up a whole pack. I cut the whole pack. But I'll tell you, it was just so awesome because I ended up creating a series of cards using my chopped up paper. And I love them. And I love seeing the cards and not just seeing the paper. So I cut one sheet of each pattern, okay, from that pack of paper, and look at all the card fronts that I have. Look at this. I mean, there's tons, and I used not even a half a stack of paper, I think I used. And look at how much I got. And these cards too came from that. So then I took the coordinating papers, the coordinating cardstocks, and if you're new, if you're new to Stampin' Up! Or not familiar, on the back of all of our designer series papers, it lists the cardstocks that coordinate. So it makes your card making so much easier because you just have to go and look and see what the colors are. Get your cardstock, get your ink, and your designer series paper, and you can make perfectly coordinated cards just by using the key colors on the back. So there's no, it's just so simple. You don't have to think about anything. So this pack, for example, has Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Lemon Lime Twist, Peekaboo Peach, Soft Sky, Tangerine Tango, and Very Vanilla. So there's tons and tons of options. I also love this paper because even though it came out basically for the fall, for card inspiration for fall, it can also make some beautiful spring and summer cards. This pattern here is fabulous for spring and summer, especially with the lemon lime twist. So is the pattern on the back. The sunflowers, that's gorgeous for summer. So you don't have to stay in the fall mindset. So I have chopped my paper, and whoops, my pile just fell, it slid. So I chopped half of my pack of paper, so I have all of this paper ready to go for cards. Then I also cut a bunch of card bases in the coordinating colors, and now I have card bases all ready to grab and make my cards with. Then from some scrap, because we know we all have scrap, I cut a bunch of scalloped ovals using the layering ovals dies. And I used scraps in coordinating colors that go with my card bases and the colors in my designer series paper. And then from the scraps of Very Vanilla I had, and we know we all have scraps. Come on, who doesn't have scraps? I pre-die cut using my scalloped, can I say this? Stitched shapes dies. I pre-cut a bunch of stitched ovals for my sentiments because I want to keep these cards super simple. I don't want to be spending hours just trying to develop one card using a bunch of different stamp sets and a bunch of different dies. I want to keep it simple. So I kept it simple. All the cards use the exact same layout. They only use these key colors. They all use this exact scalloped oval. And I mean, these scalloped ovals and these stitched ovals. So I'm keeping it super simple. Mass production at its best. So to bring in a little bit of texture, I decided I would bring in some of this gorgeous ribbon, and you can see I'm almost out of it. I guess it's time to place another celebration order. This is the burlap ribbon from the annual catalog, and it just adds a little bit of texture and dimension and just added something to the cards since I'm letting my designer series paper really have the show. Okay, so that's basically all there is to these cards that I came up with. So speaking of celebration, this is my final send-off to celebration. Celebration ends tomorrow evening. And if you're brand new to Stampin' Up, celebration is our best time of the year because it's when you get free product for placing orders that you would have been placing anyway. So for your orders that are $50 and up, you can choose from limited edition celebration exclusive products. It's also a great time to join Stampin' Up because you can get not only your $125 worth of product for $99 in your starter kit, but you also get to choose 2 free additional stamp sets that in total retail at $101 or less. So you could get 2 $50 stamp sets for free, plus your $125 worth of product for only $99. So that's a great opportunity, and it ends tomorrow evening. So if that's something you're interested in, now is the time to do it. So why am I talking about celebration? Well, we're at the final hours, As always, I have my Live at 5 hostess code, and any orders that are placed in my online store using this hostess code, I send out a special thank you gift to all of my customers who use the code as my way of thanking them for tuning in to my Live at 5. So if you use this code in the next, 36 hours before celebration ends, even for this flash class, I have a special gift for you, just for tuning in. So what I'm sending out is one of each of these designer series paper samples, and which is 6. So 6 pre-cut pieces of designer series paper. You'll get one of each of these patterns here. And then when you flip them over, there's different patterns on the other side, so you can mix and match. So you get one of each of those. So that's 6 card fronts worth of designer series paper. And you'll get 6 card bases. And your 6 card bases will be pulled from the coordinating colors from the designer series paper. So that's how excited I am about Kylie's Love It, Chop It movement. I'm going to share it with all of you. So let's get started on how we make our cards and how I chopped my paper. So this is a chance, get your screenshot for that hostess code. And I'm just going to grab my trimmer and some paper. And we're going to get started. And if you're watching the after live, because you're not able to catch me live, if you're watching the after live, that hostess code is going to stay open through the end of celebration. So you can place your orders when you catch the video. So either later today or all day tomorrow, it'll be open. And you'll receive my 6 card kits in the mail. So we're going to chop this piece of paper today. So this is a gorgeous piece of paper. The first cut hurts the most. I'm not going to lie, it hurts a little bit the first time you cut the paper, but after that it gets easier. So what you want to do using this method is you want to look at your designer series paper and notice if there's a pattern. So this is a circular pattern, so it's not going to apply as much. And this one is spotted. But if you have a stripe, or if you have, say, on this one, the leaves are going up and down or side to side, you want to pay attention to your patterns and cut accordingly. But on this one, it doesn't matter so much. So I want all of my card fronts to be 4 by 5 1/4 inches. So I'm going to start by putting my paper the way that I want it. And I'm going to go, actually I want it this way. I'm going to take it to the 5 1/4 mark. Okay, so I've got 5 1/4, push up. Then I'm going to take this along and I'm going to go to 5 1/4 again. And that leaves me this strip. Now this strip is extra. However, you can use it on cards, and I will show you some tips when I get these card fronts cut. So now I'm going to cut these at 4 inches. Okay, so I've got 1 and 2, and now I have 3 there. Then I have 4, whoops, got 4 and 4. And now all of my cutting is done. All right, and you're going to do that for your whole pack. Yes, I know, I said it. You're going to cut your whole entire pack of paper. That is what Love It, Chop It is all about, cutting up all of that paper. So from that one sheet of paper, I can now make 6 cards. Okay? And even more if you then further chop your chopped paper. But by starting with this size, you now have more options. So what can you do with this strip? Well, because all of the designer series papers in each pack coordinate with each other, you could make a flagged banner coming down and mount your sentiment across it. You could add a strip going across the front. You could make a banner going this way. Or you could make a belly band around a 3D item, or a belly band around a pack of cards. There's a lot of options for this one little strip of paper. Don't throw them away. All right, so now we have our stack of card fronts. So let's make a card. So I made this card earlier today, and this one, all I did is adhere the designer series paper to the front of the card base, grabbed my little bit of ribbon, grabbed my sentiment, and I was good to go. Then as I went along, on my other cards, I took it a step further. So this is a very vanilla card base, and then I mounted it on another layer, and this is the Cajun Craze. Then on this one, I did a Daffodil Delight layer, but to tone it down a little bit, I layered my designer series paper onto some very vanilla cardstock. On this one, I really wanted to make this appear more springy. So I have a garden green card base. Then I have my designer series paper mounted on some lemon lime twist to brighten that up a bit. I thought that one came out really pretty. Then on this one, it's very vanilla card base with the Cajun Craze for the backdrop and the designer series paper. And then on this one, I did the very vanilla Cajun Craze. Then on this piece here, excuse me, that is, let me find the pattern in here. It's on the bottom. On this card here, all I did is, I think this was 2 1/4 inches that I cut up. So this is the other side. So I cut 2 1/4 inches up, and then I glued this front to the top, and then I glued this at the bottom, and I covered the seam with my ribbon. So that's a different way that you can use these designer series papers. This would be another one that would be really pretty if you mounted this on the bottom and had the sunflowers on the top. That would be really pretty. So what I thought we would do for today's card is we'll do a version of this, but I actually do like having that extra little layer. Now, there's nothing wrong with this card, and it certainly uses less supplies, but I think having a layer of Daffodil Delight just under there is going to be really pretty. And yes, Rachel, you need to cut some DSP. Get chopping. All right, so let's see. I think I'm actually going to try that idea that we were just talking about by cutting this in half. Let me get my trimmer back. So let's see. Maybe we won't like it, but maybe we'll love it. Who knows? All right, so 2 1/4 inches. Let me see. What do I like better? I think I want that at the top. So I'm going to cut this at 2 1/4. And then that's going to give me that. All right. I'll chop now, so it is going to be what it's going to be. But I'm going to check this. And let me see. Yep, it was 2 1/4 inches. So at least I did that right. Okay, so we're also going to cheat a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with this cheat, so don't be horrified. I'm giving you permission to copy it. I'm just looking for my glue. I cheated. So here's the Daffodil Delight piece that we're going to mount our designer series paper to and put it on the front of the card. So I cheated, and I cut some scalloped ovals out of this. I know, I'm totally cheating. And so I have a whole bunch of these because I double used this. No one's going to know I did it. Don't tell. If you don't tell, no one's going to know. All right. So I'm going to just start by putting my sentiment on the front of my oval. And if you tuned in yesterday, I'm going to use the fast fuse because I'm not always happy about how the Very Vanilla and the Whisper White hold up under the glue. All right, so now we're gonna adhere this piece to the front, and actually, because I cheated, hold on. Let me see where I put it. Oh, my silicone mat. Hold on. I'll show you another tip. So if you cheat, you can put your silicone mat underneath, and then if you have any ooze, you won't end up putting your card front down on a piece of paper, you know, like your grid paper, and have it stick. So that way, if anything oozes out, you've protected your surface. Okay, so now I have this piece, and I have to decide, I think I like it this way. I have to decide which way I want it. And I'm just going to put it on the front of the card. And then this piece is going to go down here. And then I'm going to take Fast Fuse, and I'm going to put that over the seam, and take my ribbon, and I need to eyeball. Where did I put my scissors? I cleaned up after myself when I did my projects and didn't drag everything back out. So I just want to eyeball how much ribbon I need because I didn't pre-cut it. All right, and then I just want to make a flagged end, so I'm just going to fold it in half like that. Pinch that good and tight and cut into that. So now I've got my flagged end. I'm going to lay that over the top. Oh, you know what? I didn't do that. Forget it. That's how I did the other cards. Do as I did, not as I say. This one was going straight across because we're hiding the seam. Well, at least now you know how I did the other cards, right? Oh, look at that. You got a tip I wasn't teaching. Okay, so that's better. That makes sense. Thought something looked kind of funky there. All right, so now I have my card base, and I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, and I'm almost out. I should have expedited my last order. I'm heading to On Stage in Atlanta, our demonstrator convention, next week. And I have the feeling that my order is coming while I'm out of town, and I'm going to have it forwarded to a UPS pack and ship store because I can't imagine my order sitting on the front doorstep for 5 days while I'm out of town. So I didn't time that very well at all. I wasn't even thinking. All right, so if you're a demonstrator and you're going to On Stage in Atlanta, look for me. I think I'll only know a few people there. So be sure to come up and introduce yourself. All right, so there's the front, and then I just need to put my sentiment on. So grab my dimensionals again, and I like these outside bits for doing these because watch, you can bend it just a little. It's just enough. Oh, I don't have, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Here's another piece right here on the end. So waste nothing when it comes to dimensionals. Use those edges. But see how you can curve them? Ha! Isn't that cool? There's another tip for you. Another free tip. And then this one I'm going to put in the middle as opposed to the ones with the flags. I put it all to the right-hand side. So guess what? That's it. That's the card. So how quick and easy was that? So if you're looking for this, just a note, because I love that, because it can be a note of thanks, it can be a birthday, it can be thinking of you. The just a note applies to so many things. That's in Flourishing Phrases. This is in the annual catalog. And it's on page 24. So it's right here on page 24 in the annual catalog. And I must tell you that I bought this set simply for the Just a Note. I bought the whole set just so I could have that. So how do you like them apples? All right, so that is my flash class. I hope you have enjoyed the projects. I hope I have inspired you to chop your paper, right? We're all gonna love it, chop it, yes? And I hope you will chop some of your own paper and make some of your own super cute quick cards. Because seriously, I have 3 packs of this paper. I have now cut 1.5 packs of it, or 1 full pack of it anyway. And I can't begin to tell you how happy I was to see it on a card. It made me so much happier seeing it on a card than having it hidden on the shelf. I'm just really excited by this. And I thank Kylie. I'm giving Kylie a shout out because she's really changed my thinking so drastically. And I really appreciate her getting me to chop my paper. So again, if you are one of my customers, or if you would like to be one of my customers or join my team, if you enter this hostess code at checkout, I will send you the card bases and the designer series paper for making your own 6 cards. And if you join my team between now and tomorrow evening, when celebration ends, not only will you get the 2 free stamp sets from Stampin' Up!, which, by the way, if you want this Flourishing Phrases stamp set, which in Clearmount is $37 and in Woodmount with the wood blocks is $49, you could get this stamp set for free as part of your 2 free stamp sets for joining my team between now and tomorrow evening. So think about that. You can get a $49 stamp set, this stamp set, as part of your starter kit for joining my team, and then you're gonna get the card bases and the designer series paper from me. So you could make all of these cards yourself with free product. Isn't that awesome? Okay, everyone. Well, thank you for attending my flash class. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to go chop some more designer series paper and see what other cards I can make out of some of my other stash of papers and clean out some of my hoarded mess. I look forward to stamping with you this afternoon. And again, if you're catching me on the live, everything that I've mentioned here still applies. And it all ends tomorrow evening, 11:59 p.m., probably Mountain Time. So you'll have to adjust for the time. And if you're placing those online orders, don't forget, if your order reaches $50 or more, not only do you get the card bases and the designer series paper from me, you also get to pick celebration items. If you have any questions, I'm here all day chopping paper, so shoot me an email or send me a message here on Facebook and I will get right back to you. So have a great afternoon, everybody. Happy stamping, and remember, love it, chop it. Have a great day. Bye.